Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into Mirror Now. I'm Aarti Subramaniam. It's a debate that several people had been having online and offline about whether the IPL should continue in these times. And the BCCI has finally decided to suspend the marquee tournament. This comes after several players and support staff had tested positive. In fact, the match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Chennai also had to be suspended and rescheduled because of players testing positive. The latest is also a Sunrisers Vridhavan Saha who's tested positive for COVID. Chennai Super Kings has had COVID hit their ranks as well, with several support staff including former Indian pacer Lakshmipati Balaji testing positive. And of course, KKR had two players, including Varun Chakrabarti, who had tested positive. In light of all these incidents, the BCCI has decided to suspend the IPL. In fact, a short while ago, they released an official statement saying that they would like to take care and they want to ensure player safety is paramount. And in light of that, the suspension had been announced. Former Indian cricketer Shishir Hatangadi joins us this afternoon. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now. What do you make of this BCCI's decision? Was it a wise move given the fact that a number of players and support staff had now, despite the bio bubble, started to test positive?
Absolutely, very wise, and obviously, in the best interest of the players' safety, and of course the insecurity and the troubled times that the players were going through. I mean, we have to understand that it was a very secure bio bubble. There were checks and balances for each of the teams that were in the bio bubble. But when you realize that even the most secure bio bubble is not secure, a couple of players getting it means the players you played against or interacted with in the last week, 10 days, are also under scrutiny and also, susceptible to catching the virus. It only means they have to be safer, and the best way to be safer now is to postpone the tournament, because this could spread like wildfire, and there's just no control. I mean, you cannot monitor anybody unless you do the RT-PCR test to know whether, they're doing every second day, but still, if it comes positive, then obviously you have to look back at the people you've interacted with, played against. And, again, it's a chain reaction, which I think the BCCI has been very prudent in taken that decision to call it off for the moment.
Well, Shishir, stay with us. Saad Bin Jung, former cricketer Saad Bin Jung, also joining us. Saad, good afternoon to you. Good to have you on with us this afternoon. It is a controversial decision, some might say, because according to many, the IPL brought so much of joy and positivity in these times. It's something that even Ricky Ponting and Chris Morris openly spoke about. But once the player's safety begins to be compromised and the bio bubble is breached, then there are questions over whether the tournament continuance actually jeopardizes player safety.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I'm extremely saddened to see what we've actually fallen to in India. We should never have been in this position, but we are. So there's no point living in denial. Now, having said that, whether it is you coming on safari game drive with me in Africa, or whether it is a question of playing cricket or the IPL, now it goes into the realm of being a personal decision. And it is going to be the decision of the players. And if I was the BCCI, I would have left it to the players. I'd have asked the umpires. I'd have asked the ground staff. And I said, listen, this is as much as I can do. These are the risks involved. This is what the bubble is all about. This is how it can be breached. Are you willing to take the risk and come in and play? And so it should be left to the players. If the players say yes, go ahead and do it. But be extremely transparent and be out there and tell them straight exactly what the risks that they'll be taking. And if they agree with it, then I think leave it to the players, because as an entertainment source, this is much required. For me, those 4 or 5 hours that go in the evening are just so critical. I mean, I don't watch anything but IPL because I love it and I love what's happening there. And there's a new world, there's hope. It's giving me so much more. And I would want it to be a part of my life. But I think that decision should not come from the BCCI as an organization, but it should come from every player and every ground staff.
Well, Saad, I completely get your point. I think IPL, for many of us, not just for you, for many of us, is a way to unwind at the end of the day after, a tough day that we've had, seeing the kind of news reports that we do and we report. But there is nevertheless the question of the timing of it. Now, one aspect, of course, is that, of course, spectators are not put in any harm because there are no spectators. But this also raises questions, doesn't it, about the bio bubble itself? Because this was supposed to be the most secure bio bubble possible. The IPL tournament had been restricted to 6 venues only. Could more have been done then in terms of protecting the players or putting in more precautions in place to ensure that they don't test positive?
No, I completely hear what you're saying again, because whether it's the government of India, whether it is every organization, whether it is my hotels or camps, whether it is the BCCI, we all had a year and a half to deal with the situation and to accept and understand for the next 3 to 5 years, this is going to be a part of our life and make relevant changes. The BCCI could easily have put up, say, 120 or 400 rooms in a stadium or made an entire new stadium. They have the money. They just didn't think. And had they created a bubble which was completely organized from internally, you didn't have to go out, no one had to come in, then yes, and had they taken very critical decisions at the right time, had they respected the fact that there is a killer virus out there which is going to kill their players, or not just players, even the administrators and the ground staff, and had they done something concrete about it, then I'd have respected them. And even had they lost the battle after that, I'd have said, well done, BCCI, bad luck. This virus has got the best of us. But having not done anything, having all the money and everything at your service and having not done anything is extremely sad. And, I feel very saddened as an Indian today when I hear that I don't have oxygen, I don't have basic medicines. My players are suffering. BCCI has got a bubble which is burst. It's gone way out of control. And now it's time for us to accept that we cannot handle this, put up our hands and say, let's just lie back and let's just take this as it comes until we sort out ourselves, till we actually accept that we need to put in funds, we need to put in thinking, we need to put in sacrifices into this horrible bloody virus. Let's not go and have entertainment sources like the IPL where, I believe in entertainment. I believe entertainment should not be stopped. I believe entertainment is very critical in these difficult times. But if you cannot handle the bubble and if it's going to be pierced with such ease, then you should accept defeat and back off. And I think having accepted defeat, I think it's good that the BCCI has backed off.
Shishir, I know you differ with Saad a little bit, but just quick word from you on, could the BCCI have done better perhaps in organizing the tournament, a shorter tournament, fewer venues to reduce or to mitigate perhaps the chances of the players and the support staff getting the virus?
When you look back, it's always easy to put a finger on what you could have done differently. If you look back, we did it in Sharjah, in Abu Dhabi, and all the players were based. They had one base, whether it was one hotel, and they had to commute to grounds which were around their hotel to play them. They didn't have to sort of be a traveling caravan between, say, Chennai and Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Kolkata and Delhi. So, you always, when you're traveling across cities, you may be in the most secure bio bubble, but there is every chance, because who's going to monitor hotel staff? Are they going home? Not many people know. There is a groundsman of the CCI, the Cricket Club of India, that was hosting practices for one of the teams. He died of COVID. Not many people know that because he was just a groundsman, a curator. But the fact is, he would go home every night at 1 o'clock after finishing, take a train and go wherever into the suburbs. And obviously, he got the virus. He was not in a bio bubble. So the bio bubble is fair. It's good for the players because they are the most important protagonists in the game of cricket. But let's not forget there are other people who make this game possible. The groundsmen, the support staff, people who work around the ambit of a cricket ground to make it happen. And how many are we really in a position to monitor where they go, what they do? Are they in a secure bio bubble? I'm not sure of that. I mean, if the virus, if COVID can get into the securest bio bubble, and I know I have my facts right on the tests being done every second day, monitoring, etc., etc. Everybody in a bio bubble, nobody's allowed to meet everybody. And still it got into that for the players. So, when you talk of hotel staff who are serving these players, you never know where we are going. Are they in such a strict bio bubble where the staff doesn't go home, they stay in the hotel itself? These are all issues, where I think you have sometimes no control over. And today what you saw is there are a couple of players who got it. Obviously, they played against some of the other players and some other players, and everybody becomes susceptible to catching the virus. He may not catch it, he may catch it. That's another story. But the chances are he might catch it. So the franchisees may have been consulted because they're all stakeholders in this. They pay the money to the players. So I guess the franchisees also felt that this was getting beyond control, and they must have got together with the people running the game, saying that, what do you think of it? And I think in the best interest of the safety of the players, who become the responsibility of the franchisee, that they've decided to sort of postpone it, because once it's got into the bio bubble, you don't know how many people are going to catch it. In a matter of 3 days, we've got about 10 cases, if I'm not mistaken, be it support staff, be it management, be it players. So that could just spiral, and that is something that the players need to be careful about, and the management.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Shishir, you make a really good point about not just player safety, but also that of support staff and groundsmen who are also working and who don't necessarily stay in that bio bubble. Shishir and Sa, thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now. Always a pleasure to hear your views. Well, it's of course a tournament that has so much of money riding on it, but the BCCI and the IPL deciding that lives are more important and lives matter more, safety matters more, and deciding to suspend IPL 2021. We're going to step into a short break, but stay tuned. Lots more on the other side.